What's up, guys? Welcome to your 50th Android tutorial for the new Boston. Again with me, Travis. What we're going to do in this tutorial is basically set up this start activity for result button. If they click that, it's going to give us some input from the next class for the most part. So what we're going to do is basically go into our open class because excuse me, go into this open class and we're going to set up this onClick method because, again, this is for a return button. When a return button is pressed, we're basically going to send the data back, and then we're going to close the application. So again, every time we pass like data and such between classes, just think of that basket, that bread, and that person carrying the basket for the most part, which would be the intent. So what we need to do is set up an intent. We're just going to call this intent I or person, because a person can carry stuff between two activities. It just makes it a little bit easier to think about. And we're going to call it intent or new intent, basically setting up to be a new intent object. And then we're going to say bundle as well. We're going to call this backpack. Again, new bundle. Nothing too new here. And then all we need to do is basically set up what information we want to pass through, which will be our string. And again, whenever this onClick, or whenever one of these radio buttons changes, that's going to change the string variable to our answer for the most part. So that's a string that we're going to pass. We're going to say button or a backpack. And we need to put the string in there, so we're going to say dot put string. And then we have to set up a key, and we're going to call this answer or something like that. And also our value, which is our set data. There we go. So there's our key reference, which again is kind of our file name, kind of. You can think of it like that, and this is the actual value or what that file holds for the most part. Then the only other thing we need to do is basically the person carry the backpack now. So we're going to say person, which is our intent, dot put extras. Takes a bundle, and we're going to call our bundle is called backpack. And there we go. Pretty much the same thing we've done before, but we're going to add two different things. Since we're starting this activity for a result, we need to give the result back for the most part, and you do that by a command called setResult. Within here, it's going to take two things within its parameters. Basically, one is going to be like, hey, everything checked out, everything's good, and then the other one is going to be our intent that we're going to pass back to the previous class. So we're going to say results underscore OK, all cap locks, and that's basically going to tell our program that everything's okay. And then we're going to say our intent variable, which is person. And as you can see, this results okay turned blue because that's not something we define. That's just kind of a standard way to say operation succeeded. Again, you saw that when we did that camera application for the most part. Then the only other thing we're going to do on this button is finish this activity. Again, we've used the finish method before as well. So now when our button's pressed, it's going to set up our person, our backpack, put a string in the backpack, and then give the backpack to the person to carry back to the previous class, and that's what the setResult method does. Excuse me, I just drank a ton of pop, so like my throat's kind of has all that sugar in it and stuff. So now basically this application will work, but the problem is